What is up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? It's your boy Goblin, and today we're coming in with part 2 of my first acid trip in 4 years. Hey, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Drop a like if you do. Let me know in the comment section if you guys are ready for part 3, and also don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Without further ado, let's not beat around the bush. Also, click the link at the top of the description to get your hands on some Goblin merch today. A quick little merch plug, baby. Go check it out. It's high quality, good design. You're going to love it. Without further ado, let's dive right into it. So, where we left off in the last video was Peter was just about to come back to my hotel, right? I had to go to get my hair cut, and not a ton really happened at my haircut. I just showed up tripping balls, and normally that would be crazy for a haircut, but like I mentioned in the last episode, my barber actually doesn't give a shit about any of that, right? Like, he's totally with the shits. So I showed up, we smoked a cigarette out back before he cut my hair, and he's cutting hair out of his house because of COVID, so I just got to, smoke a cig on his patio, and then go back in, get my hair trimmed, and then I fucking left, right? And normally I don't smoke cigarettes, but when I'm tripping, dude, those shits hit. But not much to say about the haircut. The real good stuff comes once I got back. So, Miss Goblin drives me back, right? We get back to the hotel, and I'm chilling, and I give Peter a call once I get back. And I'm like, yo, dude, where are you at? What's the word? He's like, oh, yeah, I'll link up in a little bit after my date. I gave him a call on Snapchat. We chatted a little bit. He was still with the girl, so I was like, bet. So about, 30 minutes to an hour goes by, and I'm still just tripping balls, and I'm not really doing anything. I'm just playing some Borderlands, chilling out, and all of a sudden, I get a call from Peter, right? And I was really waiting on him to get back, because I was kind of, I don't want to say I was getting bored, but I was just like, I was feeling like anxious almost, like antsy to do something, I was just sitting there like, oh man, this Borderlands is kind of boring, like this, I'm not really feeling this game, and I didn't have internet on my Xbox, because for some reason the hotel internet wouldn't connect with my Xbox, like I couldn't sign into it on my Xbox, it was tweaking, so I only had like 2 fucking games to play. So finally Peter calls me up. And I'm expecting him to just be like, oh, yeah, dude, I'm here. Instead, he's frantic as fuck. He's going crazy. He's like, dude, she just hit a fucking deer, bro. Like, she just nailed a deer. And I'm like, dude, are you good? Like, where are you? Like, what the fuck? And he tells me, like, what road they hit the deer on. And I'm like, dude, like, where the fuck are you? And he's like, oh, well, I'm here. But, like, dude, she hit a deer. You got to come out, bro. And I was like, wait, you made it all the way here after she hit a deer? Like, you just kept going? Like, pardon me? And he's like, dude, just come out here, bro. So I'm like, what the fuck, dude? I throw a hoodie on and I come outside. Mind you, it's fucking July. I don't know why I put a hoodie on, but I threw a hoodie on and I went outside. And lo and behold, this chick is standing outside of her car. And Peter is just going off. He is just rambling on so quickly about nonsense. Like, he keeps telling her, like, oh, I'll get this fixed for you. No problem. Don't worry about it. But he just keeps repeating himself, right? And I come out and I'm tripping balls. And I walk up and I dap him up. And I'm like, what's good, dude? And he's like, hey, what's up? And this girl's just standing there wide-eyed as fuck. And I'm looking and I'm just like, damn, so, like, what happened? Like, are you guys okay? Like, how'd this happen? And obviously they were both standing there. They were completely fine. And really, this must have been like a baby deer that they hit. Or maybe they hit it at like a weird angle because only one of the front headlights was like smashed in. Like, the car was completely drivable. It was just a headlight that was out, right? So I'm looking at it and I'm asking him how he did it. And he's like, oh, dude, we hit it in the head, bro. Like, it's dead for sure. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, that sucks and whatever. And I look over to this girl, and mind you, I mentioned in the last episode, this is a very, very Christian girl, right? This is a very, like, uptight Christian girl that Peter was on a date with. I didn't really consider what that meant at all, and I didn't really care either. I turned around and I said the most generous thing I could think of saying, the most, welcoming, the most like, hey, I'm Peter's friend, I think you're going to like us kind of thing I could think of. I turned around and I asked her if she wants to do some fucking coke, dude. And as soon as I turn around and look at her and I'm like, well, you want to do some cocaine or what? And she just goes fucking wide-eyed, dude. And she literally, it looks like I just flashbanged this girl, dude. Like, it actually looks like I just tased her or some shit. She looks horrified, shook out of her mind. And she's like, oh, no, I think I gotta go, right? And she looks over to Peter and she's like, do you have everything out of my car? And as soon as I offer that, she literally, like, clutched her purse a little tighter. Like, she looked like she looked like how she would have reacted if I popped out the like bushes with a mask and offered her some coke, you know? Like, holy shit, dude. She was terrified. I was just trying to be friendly, dude. I was just trying to be a welcoming individual. God forbid I offer a Christian girl some blow, dude. My fucking bad, bro. Like, whatever, dude. I guess I'm the bad guy here. But she's clutching her purse, and she looks over to Peter, and she's like, Peter, do you have anything else in my car? And he's like, oh, no, you're good. So she gets in her car and just fucking speeds off. Just flies the fuck out of there, right? So I'm sitting there, and now it's just Peter and myself, right? And I'm like, all right, well, let's go back in my hotel room. So we go back into my hotel room, right? And we end up just playing some blackjack and playing some Borderlands. And Peter luckily had a hotspot on his phone. So we connect to his phone, and I'm still tripping balls at this point. And I realized, like, you know what? I should take some more. I still have 4 more tabs. So while Peter's sitting at the table kind of shuffling the cards a little bit, I go over to the nightstand drawer where I had my tabs, and I just yank another tab off and pop it on my tongue. And I'm like, you know what? Let's send it. I feel wonderful. I'm excited for this. Let's send it. So now I've got the second tab on my tongue, and I go sit back down. And I'm talking to Peter, and I'm like, so, how'd your date go, you know? And he was like, oh, you know, I think it went okay. He was like, they were all terrified of me and shit, and I was really fucked up, and they kept asking if I was okay. And I was like, oh, so it didn't go very well. And he was like, no, but she gave me a blowjob. And I was like, oh, so she can't be that Christian, you know? Like, listen, she's sucking dick, but offering the line is what horrified her. What? Come on, man. Come on, you already sinned. Like, do it twice. Who cares? Like, I don't understand the problem. As long as you repent, it's fine. You know, that's how she should have looked at it. She had already sinned that evening. She should have done it again. But either way, I was like, oh, nice, dude. So eventually we get on his hotspot, and we're looking through my game library, right? And I end up downloading Doritos Crash Course because I'm looking at it. And if you guys are OGs on the Xbox days, you might remember what Doritos Crash Course is. Holy fuck, I forgot how fun that game is. So I saw that in my library, and I immediately was just like, dude, why have I not downloaded this shit? So I download this fucking game. And we're just chilling out playing Doritos Crash Course. And I remember I played the very first level. And there's this specific jump where you have to hold the left trigger and A at like a kind of specific time. And I was tripping too hard to understand, right? Like I wasn't tripping super hard, right? That other tab I just popped hadn't hit me yet. But this is my first trip in 4 years, bro. I felt like I was lagging every step of the fucking way, dude. So I'm over here and I keep missing this jump. And Peter's just making fun of me at this point. He's just like, dude, fucking $10 if you make this next one. And of course I fuck it up, and he's just laughing at me. He's just harassing me. And I'm getting more and more determined to make this jump. The further in I go, I'm like, dude, I'm gonna make this jump no matter what. Like, I have to make this jump no matter what. And eventually I make this jump. I'm fucking lit, right? So after a little while, I'd say maybe like 45 minutes to an hour of playing this, I definitely start feeling a little more intense of a body high. And I knew then, like, okay, that other tab I popped is starting to take effect, right? Let's fucking go. And coincidentally, right around that point, Peter had to go. So I dab him up. I'm like, all right, peace out, dude. I'll catch you later. And he dips, right? We didn't really do much eventful shit. We literally just kind of chilled out, played some cards, and that was it, right? All fine and dandy. So, oh my God, lads, I completely forgot to mention, before Peter dipped, I felt like I was forgetting something. Like, this past, 2 minutes, I've been sitting here, and I was like, dude, I feel like I'm forgetting a significant detail. I totally am. I don't write a script for these lads. This is all just free balling. So listen. All right, I forgot to mention, the hotel staff knocked on my door at one point while I was chilling with Peter. And they knock on my door, and I open it, right? And it's the, head of security. He had, I don't want to say it was a badge, but it was a fancy name tag that made it very clear that this guy was the head of security. And I crack my door a little bit, and the guy just straight up says, he's like, you guys are keeping it on the balcony, right? And I'm like, yeah, dude, for sure. 100%. Like, we're keeping it on the balcony. Why? Like, what are you talking about? And he's like, oh, dude, I can smell it from here, dude. I can smell it. It smells great. And I'm like, I'm still trying to, like, kind of play stupid and shit. And he's like, listen, I don't give a shit what you guys are doing, but our fire alarms are really sensitive. And I just had to move a guest out of the neighboring room because they were complaining about the smell. And after that, I kind of realized, like, okay, this guy definitely, like, is trying to be cool about it. So I'll try to do the same. So I'm like, oh yeah, we're trying to keep it on the balcony. And he's like, could you please just take it out to your car from here on out? I really appreciate it. You know, thank you guys. I'm not going to like be on your ass about it unless it keeps happening, right? And I was like, okay, for sure. Sounds good. Thumbs up, 100%, no problem. And my heart was skipping a beat because at this point, I'm tripping, right? Like, I'm not trying to fucking deal with this shit, dude. I'm not trying to have this dude pull up and fuck us, right? So I come to the realization very quickly that I kind of just have to listen to this guy. Like, I don't have a choice because they're already on to us. I thought us keeping our smoking on the balcony was working, but very clearly it was not whatsoever. You know, like at fucking all. So I'm just like, thumbs up. And the guy, I thought he had some, you know, alternate intent. Like, I thought he was trying to get me to confess to smoking so he could charge me the fee. But no, throughout my stay at this hotel, this guy was actually pretty fucking cool. I saw him quite a bit throughout the hallway and shit. You know, he'd always be like every time I'd come back in after hotboxing a blunt and I stunk, he'd literally thank me. Like, he'd be like, hey, good looks, dude. Thanks for taking it outside. I'd be like, hey, dude, I've never been thanked for facing a blunt, but that's fucking lit, dude. Thank you, you know? So, either way, I just forgot to mention that little detail. Not a super significant part. We never got in any trouble or kicked out, but that guy did come to the door and it was kind of sketchy. I felt like I should throw that part in. I almost forgot it. But, either way, Peter leaves, and now it's just myself and Miss Goblin. And I can't figure out what to do with myself because now the second tab is hitting and I'm tripping balls. Like, before I was tripping really hard, but now it was getting intense. Before, you know, I kind of felt the body high on the come up, but it kind of mellowed out into just a very nice visual experience. But after that second tab I took smacked, oh, it was intense. I'm talking full body. Like, I don't want to say like, I felt like I was almost like electrified, like a very light electrocution throughout my whole body, you know? Like, it wasn't a tingling. It was just like this little jolt of like, you know, this little like, oh, God. It's so hard to describe that feeling that like acid pumps through your veins, dude. It's so hard. Like, for those of you guys who have tripped, I challenge you to write in the comments, like, how do you fucking describe that feeling, dude? When you're really tripping balls and you just feel it in every limb. What fucking words do you use for that? Because I don't know. But either way, back on topic here. So, I decided to watch some Scarface. You know, I'm looking over at the things I can do because Peter left and I no longer had his hotspot. And a lot of the games I downloaded still required an online connection because fuck that. And also, I didn't get to download any big games because it was still a hotspot after all, right? So, I'm looking around at what to do and I spot my Scarface DVD. And I brought this with because I knew at some point I was going to want to do blow and watch Scarface. And I bought the DVD for it, like the 4K remaster and everything, dude. Because at home I have a nice 4K TV with a soundbar, so I had to buy the nice high-quality Scarface, right? But in this hotel, the 4K meant nothing because the TV kind of sucked. Ooh, damn, I just burped in the middle of saying, did you guys, what the fuck is happening to me? I think I'm dying. Damn, this is the end of me, lads. That sucks. Either way, I might as well do some blow about it. Either way. So, I put my Scarface into my Xbox. And by the way, the Xbox One Blu-ray player is just the most unreliable piece of shit software ever. But that's for a different time, right? So, I pop my Scarface in, and I lay on the couch. And I'm watching it with the lights on for the first, 5 minutes. But I realized, oh, this could be a vibe with the lights off. Like, this could go hard with the lights off. So I lay on the couch and I turn the lights off. And I bring my Coke over to me. And I lay it out on this little coffee table that's in front of this couch. And I pull out, God only knows how much. I pulled out what was probably like a 0.3. You know, I'd say it was like a 0.3. A decent chunk. And I just ground it all up, smashed it all up, laid the bill over it, ran the debit card over it. Ground it all up, chopped it all up as best as I could, and made a fucking mound. And from there on out, every I'd say 30-minute to an hour interval, I would make another one of these mounds, right? And throughout the entire movie, I was just railing so much blow, right? I had the lights off, and the only thing I was focusing on was the movie. And I don't know what it was, but just the colors in Scarface looked really sick, dude. Like all the 70s, or like you know what I mean? Just like the nice like floral shirts and shit. They looked dope when I was tripping. Every character had like a sick fit. I was like, damn, these boys are fly up in here, dude. These motherfuckers look sick, you know? So I was loving this movie. And of course, Scarface is just one of my favorite movies, you know? Tony Montana's a great character. But either way, I'm just loving this movie, and I'm railing so much blow. Like, I'm talking every time anyone did blow in the movie, I would try to keep up. You know, of course, I missed a couple because I was tripping balls, and I'd start looking at the ceiling again, or, you know, maybe the TV would be too bright, and I'd notice the pattern on the wall again and start tweaking about that. But nevertheless, I was bussing. And a lot of you guys might be curious about what kind of interaction cocaine has with acid. Virtually none. Like, you're not really going to notice much of a difference at all. There's no synergy between the two, and it's a complete waste of coke, pardon me. Which leaves a lot of you probably wondering why the fuck I did it. Honestly, I don't know, but I'm a hardcore drug addict, and in my head, while I was tripping, it just sounded lit. I was like, dude, let's do a bunch of blow while I'm tripping and watch Scarface. That sounds lit. So it's what I did. Looking back at it, would I waste all that coke again? Fuck no, dude. When you're watching Scarface, you have to just do the coke. Save the trip for after, right? But there really is no synergy between the two substances. Like, it's not like the coke really made any noticeable difference on my tripping. Besides, at one point, I'd gotten really, really geeked. And that was the first time I felt like I really felt the cocaine. And that was kind of scary, because mainly cocaine, it just makes you feel very amped and wired and awake. But on acid, you're already really wired and awake, so it kind of negates a lot of that cocaine impact right off the bat, unless you do a fuckload. But either way, I'll watch this movie all the way through, do a bunch of blow. I'm fucking sent. And I restart it. I finished the movie and I immediately restart it. So I'm talking from, I'd say probably midnight all the way through like 6 a.m. It was literally until the sun came up. I was laying on this couch doing cocaine and watching Scarface. And after the second portion of it stopped, I decided that I needed some more weed, right? Or not the second portion. After the second viewing of it ended, I decided I needed to get to the dispensary and buy some weed, because I was about to run out of the good shit, right? I was about to run out of my goods, and I was fiending for the smoke. I had like 2 blunts left. I needed more for the day, because I was debating on redosing again, too, which I ended up doing. But we'll get to that in the next episode. Hey, hope you guys enjoyed this one. Drop a like if you did. In the next one, we got to figure out how to get to the dispensary while we're tripping balls. Listen, it's a little hectic. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.